right now.
Right. Well, there's, when it comes to really anything you're doing, but especially if we're going to call it science, but it would apply to auto mechanics, engineering, really anything, you come up with a theory or an explanation. Hopefully it's based on the most comprehensive given the evidence that you have, and then you propose a solution, a treatment, and that's the final test. If the treatment works, almost certainly you've found the problem. And I think part of what you're saying, Adam, is that our treatments aren't working in certain areas, and we end up with a lot of chronic disease. And our nation has way too much. And frankly, as an American, I'm kind of sick of a lack of excellence in medicine. We've got a lot of excuses as to why it's that way, but we don't have much performance. And I don't think that's what our nation's about. It's not what the principles are about. It's about the principles we have are apply to all areas of practice. Medicine is not separate from our constitutional rights. And if we had those things going, we would have essentially a free market, which means do what works. And what works is what would make people better, and then we'd know a lot more. But right now we have untrained physicians. They're trained as licensed drug dealers. This is what my training was about, to a large degree. How to give out prescription medications. If it's not prescription, why am I giving it out? I'm an MD. Don't you see that? I worked for that. So why would I give out a supplement? Now, I was trained in the Navy, and I did family practice, and it was really good training. But there was that element of our culture in there. That element is entirely anti-science and anti-effective treatment. And it's pro-ego and pro-foolishness and whatever you want to call it. But the point is it doesn't work. The patient ends up unhappy. The doctor isn't happy either, because there is no substitute for success. If you're not getting people better, you're going to spend your time checking the stock market, annoying your comrades because you're trying to look for something else to make you happy and driving some oppressive large car. This is a poor substitute for true success, which is I spent a lot of time learning how to do this, and now I have something that really helps people. Now, certain areas we do fine. You know, if you get your hand burned, you need a plastic surgeon, this is the place to be. They do an excellent job. Mm-hmm. When you break a bone, orthopedics is very science-oriented. Essentially, when something doesn't work, they discard it. They don't hold on to it for foolish reasons. But many other areas of medicine, we do very much more poorly. We feel afraid to discuss your diet with you. Oh, we would rather have you be sick than broach the subject of maybe you shouldn't be drinking milk. Now I'm in heresy land. I've said the unthinkable. Your children shouldn't drink milk. You know, things like this. This is non-science to you know, not be able to broach these subjects. And it'd be one thing if we were doing great, but we're not. We have the highest rate of infant mortality among developed nations. This means the number of kids who die below 1 year old. That is inexcusable. And I hold the guys in the white coats, myself and my comrades, responsible for that, because we're the major drivers of the culture of medicine, public education, what people think, and we could do a lot better. We have the highest rate of, or higher, you know, one of the highest rates of diabetes and obesity, if not the highest. We were 11th or 17th 20 years ago in life expectancy, and now we're 42nd. This just came out recently. And
if I'm not
unexcusable.
If I'm not mistaken, many of our physicians, their life expectancy is not even as high as the general population.
They have the women. I just recently from the California Medical Board, the male physician is a 60% higher suicide rate. The female physician suicide rate is 130% higher than the average person. And then divorce rate is 10 to 20% higher. They didn't put life expectancy in there. But just look at them. Are they happy?
Oh, yeah, those seem to be matters of conscience, too.